The point is just meet everybody, even if they're not from the same city. Look, COVID taught us that.
Yeah.
You can work with anyone, anywhere.
Networking in today's day and age is such a buzzword. How do you see it evolving?
Biggest rule in networking is go in with zero expectations. So you have to go in with thinking nothing will come of it but help someone else. Build a community which learns to collaborate.
I want to ask you, do you have this business Bible or something of that sort where, it's like a guidebook for someone who's starting out?
One thing every entrepreneur should take on is try to do as many online courses, try to go to as many talks where people are talking. As a teenager, when you do your first internship or first job, it may be smaller money, but if you start investing at that age, even if you put 1,000 rupees away a month, what a
It's
difference.
enough.
It's a
Yes.
winner. You'll actually have a ready fund when you want to start as an entrepreneur.
We realize that a lot of people are earning well, okay? They're making good money.
Yeah.
It's just that they're not able to manage it well.
Yeah.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Happy Hour with FinCocktail. At the age of 15, when we were all just worried about our board exam results, our guest today had gone on to begin her entrepreneurial journey. She is now the founder of one of the largest networking communities in the city of Mumbai. She is also a small business and networking consultant. So let's welcome our guest, Shaan Khanna. Hi Shaan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm so glad you could be a part of this show with us.
Absolutely. I've been following you guys for so long and I'm so happy to meet you all in person and be here.
Absolutely. Great. So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. How did you start at the age of 15? What did you really do?
Honestly, when I hear people say that, when I hear that I started at 15, life was so different back then. I don't think I even knew what it meant to be an entrepreneur, run my own business. I used to sell handbags. Basically, I just loved buying bags, and my mom would be like, "Listen, it's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. I'm not buying it for you." There was a store called Oak Tree on Causeway, and I used to go there, and they were beautiful, jeweled bags. And she's like, "I have a tailor. You make it with him." Okay. Went and bought the fabric, gave my design. And when I went back to Oak Tree, the lady was a good friend of my mom, still is a good friend of my mom. And she's like, supply to me. So I gave my bags. We gave about 10, 12, all sold. I gave 14, 15, all sold. And that's when I kind of became an entrepreneur at 15 and learned so much. I can't tell you, that journey of being an entrepreneur at that age taught me everything I know today. Yeah. Of course, I didn't make much money at that age. I sold bags. I kind of broke even. I learned a lot, met so many people. I know everybody that bought a bag from me. Till today, I meet people. They're like, we still have a bag of yours.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, supplied to many stores. I got to know what's a line sheet, how to give commissions, to stores, profit, tax, everything. I learned it all. But of course, like I said, I didn't make money. And one day my dad says, Shaan, I think it's time to realize that get with it.
Yeah.
Get an internship, get a job because you're not making money here. But yeah, I loved that experience. Loved that experience and wouldn't trade it for anything else.
So how has that experience really shaped your approach to business today?
Just going for it. I think that's one thing we forget. We today, in today's day and age, especially, we doubt everything. And at that age, it was just, you like bags? Okay, go make it, sell it. And the fact that the first person I met gave me the opportunity and said, supply to me, I was like, okay, this is all working out in my favor. So that's one. I think just going for it, and with the support of my parents, just saying, we'll invest, do it. That was one. And two, meeting customers. We often forget, and especially in today's digital world, we forget that face-to-face networking, communication, selling to your customer is key.
Absolutely.
You know the real feedback of a customer. Did they actually like your product, or they're just telling you that because they're your friend?
Yeah.
Or just because it's a fad and your brand is famous, they're buying it.
Right.
So I think these are the two big learnings that I've taken into my business today.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about networking now. How did that come about?
Honestly, I've just been somebody who loves connecting people. I love bringing people together. I love meeting new people. And, about 8 years ago, I was doing events with my mom. I was assisting her in the events business. And I realized that I met so many lovely women entrepreneurs who were doing different things. But, very often we're like, hey, where do I get this printed? Or where do I supply my bags? Or how do I get a cheaper fabric? Or how do I get a good printer? And very often people would call me and ask these questions. And I was like, I need to do something where I can crowdsource information for them.
Okay.
So that's when I started a Facebook group. I had seen a media list group, somebody had started. And I was like, I need to start this.
Okay.
So I literally, on a whim, started it and called it Networking Now. Added a bunch of friends and told them, I'll accept basis whoever you add. So friends of friends.
Right.
Okay, and then slowly it was like 100 people, 300 people, 500,000. I was like, okay, this is a winner. And a few friends told me, Shaan, we want to learn. We want to know what other people are doing. That time I remember Swedish House Mafia had just started, the cookie brand. Pack a Pow had just started. So I got, and Bori Kitchen. So I got the 3 founders on a panel and I did my first event at Social. And I was so worried nobody would show up. I charged 250 rupees and we had a good, I think, 38 people in the audience. And I
That's
was
great.
like,
That's a great number to start with.
I remember saying, okay, we're on to something. Clearly people want to know. And that's literally how it began. And I realized people just want to meet new people, new faces, new customers, new people they can learn from. And that's really where my journey with networking now began.
Wow, very interesting. So how long have you been doing this now?
Now this was my 9th year for networking now. I was doing Spicy Sangria with my mom before, which is an exhibition. We are both co-founders in that. So I've worked with entrepreneurs ever since I can imagine.
Remember,
Basically since when I began. But this has been 9 years. It's been a community in progress, growing slowly. And I think it took me a few years to find my feet. So it took me a few years to realize what I wanted. How do I want this community to exist? How do I want people to interact? What kind of events I'll do? And touch wood, today with the digital world, we're so blessed with, the reach we have. I'm able to have a community of entrepreneurs that want to learn, want to come together. And I love the fact that everyone just wants to meet new people.
Yeah, absolutely. So along the course of your journey of 9 years, how has your vision for networking now really evolved? Because there's so much changing on a day-to-day basis. There's so much happening, even with like things changing so rapidly digitally and technologically. How have you sort of envisioned these changes and adapted to them?
So that's a great question. I think for me, it's been a journey. When I started, like I said, I did offline events. I'm still so scared of tech, and I don't shy away from that. I'm so scared of tech. When somebody tells me build an app or build a platform, I'm just like, I can't do it. I've dabbled in it. I launched a website. It failed. And that's the day I decided I'm not going to do this. My strength lies in events. My strength lies in people. My strength lies in offline. I will continue that. Now, when I started, there were very few networking platforms. I would say 3 or 4. Okay. And that's all people knew. That's all people were just joining and they were getting their work from there. Today, a networking platform is different. It's not only about business. It's about meeting new friends, people who move from different cities, people who don't only want customers, but want to find their tribe.
Yeah.
And that's what I've realized. So like I said, when I started it, I did a couple of offline events. I did a couple of, it was all about Facebook. Those were, accepting people's posts on Facebook, commenting below. That was it. Today, we've evolved into a WhatsApp-based platform. We have 10 WhatsApp groups, which have all our community members. We do 3 events minimum a month.
Okay.
So it could range from 20 people, 40 people, 60 people to 200. There are learning events, there are fun events, and there are events where we bring on other experts to come in and speak. So thought leaders in their field. Okay. Now, my idea really is that you can learn from everybody. Right. It's exactly what you guys are doing here. Like what you and I spoke about earlier. It's the experience of learning from someone who started a business and failed 4 times over but got it right the 5th time. So that's my idea. I'm not only, for me, it's not only about the numbers and the number of accolades or the number of articles in the paper. So that's what I would love to bring to the community. And as of now, we're a mix between an online offline community. We do 3 events a month, not compulsory, open to guests, and our WhatsApp community is fully buzzing. So the questions are 200, 300 a day.
Oh,
and
wow.
I love that because there are people sitting in Singapore, there are people sitting in Baroda, there are people in Bombay.
Okay.
And as and when members travel to other cities, they meet up with others as well. Yeah.
Okay. So is it like a region-based thing? Like in Bombay, you'll have different sort of chapters for different
so we're
areas?
Not like that. But our events range from, we do it everywhere.
Okay.
So if I may do an event in Kala Ghoda, I will also do an event in Andheri.
Okay.
We are also now doing events in Powai. So honestly, it's I don't believe in that shop, because I do believe somebody from Churchgate should also go and do business with somebody in Baroda.
Yeah.
Somebody in Andheri should be coming for a meeting to meet somebody who's giving them big business in Kalagoda. So my idea is that through the WhatsApp group, that's how we connect people. And the point is just meet everybody, even if they're not from the same city. Look, COVID taught us that.
Yeah.
You can work with anyone, anywhere. I was doing lives with people like where,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it really doesn't, I
No,
don't
I
believe in the
absolutely
region
agree, because
aspect.
we started in COVID, FinCocktail.
Yeah.
And because it was COVID, a large part of our team was and still remains to be people who aren't from the city.
Yeah. Can you
You know?
imagine? Yeah.
And these are the people who've been working with us for the past 4 years, all based out of different cities, Bangalore, Chennai,
Yeah.
Delhi.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. When people tell me, oh, but give me only somebody from Bombay, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Maybe exactly what you want fulfilled will be somebody sitting in Lucknow.
Yeah.
And you can easily do it over the phone. Today we have digital tools for everything. So, and my favorite part is like when people go to other cities and they, go give a shout out in the group saying, hey, I'm in Nagpur today, let's catch up. And then 5 of them go for coffee. And I feel that's special, because what you can learn, or resources that you can get and business you can do with people from other cities.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think that's my end goal. It doesn't have to be just because you're in 5-kilometer radius.
Yeah, absolutely. So how have you sort of been able to impact freelancers and small business owners through networking now? Tell us a few stories.
Yeah, for sure. So one of my favorite stories actually is that 2 people got married from the platform.
Oh, that's so cute.
Though that's not why we...
Of course, it's not a matchmaking platform.
That's not
but
and
it's adorable.
The number of people that call me and say, do a matchmaking event, and I'm like, no, that is not what I'm doing. That is not what I'm doing. But yeah, 2 people met, and one was a website developer and one had a business, and they got married through the platform. But of course, my favorite stories are when people message me. Just yesterday, we had a shout out from somebody who used a makeup artist, and the makeup artist messaged me saying, I've been a member for 6 months and I was really waiting for my breakthrough. I've done so many, people's makeup, but I've made a friend.
Huh.
So, not only a client, but like somebody which will go in the long term. So I think when people stop me at the airport, like, oh, are you Shaan? This was the most touching one for me, where a gentleman stopped me at the airport saying, you don't know me. I've been a member with you for 2 years and I've done close to 30 lakhs business with you.
Oh.
And I was like, I've not met him. He's not come to events. That means he's using our digital and our WhatsApp community so well. So I knew his name and I knew he existed because I know the members.
Correct.
But the point is that I love to see it.
Right.
I love to see that people are actually benefiting. The other thing is where people always tell me, we love coming because it feels like home. We've made friends. We've learnt. People love coming to listen to other speakers. And like I told you, it's my favorite when they don't come for the speakers where it's like, oh, so-and-so won an award or so-and-so's famous.
Yeah.
It's literally about the person who
You can relate to.
you can relate to.
That's-
exactly that.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things when people tell me. Another one is a printer. Whenever he gets free time, he comes to my events. But he literally told me that we shared an Instagram story, and then he put up a post on the group, and he's like, ever since that one client has been working with me for 3 years. And he's like, I can't tell you, Shaan, the amount of business I've got. So that makes me happy, because it's also the loyalty and the faith people have in us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
these freelancers will be good, or we should work with these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, Shaan, networking in today's day and age is such a buzzword. Like, everyone's talking about networking, and like,
Yeah.
you're looking for like different ways and means to network all the time.
Yeah.
How do you see it evolving over the next few years? With, of course, the digital aspect. It's a
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah. How do you see it evolving? Do you think that people are just going to rely on like digital networking?
Yeah.
Or this like face-to-face connect that you're talking about and that you like so much?
Yeah.
Do you think that's still going to exist?
Yes, I'm going to start with that first. I don't believe in this digital networking taking over. I'll be very honest. I do believe the connections you make. Look, I watch FinCocktail content all the time. Okay, I know the 2 of you.
Yeah.
Now, when you see somebody on the internet, you think you know them, right? Like, so if I'm in a restaurant, I'll be like, oh, hi. Oh, okay, I've never been
I don't
introduced
know
to
her,
you.
yeah.
I don't know her. But I know you because what you share, I know. What you tell me, I know. The knowledge you give me, I know. But meeting you is a different story.
Absolutely.
That builds a relationship. It builds a friendship. It's one step further off. We've connected. So yes, digital networking is great. And like I said, you can do business with anyone sitting anywhere. You can connect with anyone today with Google Meet, Zoom. You can even be, this AI is getting us in the same conference room somehow. But the touch and feel of it, and the meeting people, and the touch and feel of the product before you buy it.
Yeah.
Or going to an event and connecting, and maybe like, I love it when people come to an event and say, hey, let's grab a coffee after. I loved connecting with you. So I've seen so many other people at our events literally go to another table and sit. That makes me know that that instant connection has built trust. So yes, networking is a buzzword, and today networking is very different to what it was even 8 years ago or 10 years ago when I began. It was very transactional. It was very, you got me 20,000 business, I give you 40,000 business. You gave me this lead, I'll give you this lead. You know, I saw it happening within our community as well. But today, I think it's about building relationships and making friends. So I'm not saying you have to make best friends, but it's about literally that one step further of, I enjoyed working with you. Let me suggest you to somebody because I enjoyed the process, not because I know you through a platform where I have to suggest you.
Yeah.
So I think that today, the other thing is I love that people are not shying away from it.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, people were like, oh, you're a networker, or like, oh, you're just social climbing, or you're networking because you want business. No, there have been so many lovely platforms that existed, and people are part of like 5-6 platforms now.
Yeah.
Like I have so many clients who now slot out Wednesdays and Thursdays for networking.
Okay.
So if there's an event on Thursday, they will go because that's their day slotted out for networking. So it doesn't have to be that they'll come home with 50 business cards or 50 lakhs of business, but they met new people and they, you know, got new connections and made new friendships or relationships.
Yeah.
So I think it's gone from very transactional and rigid to accepting. People are more accepting of it. People are introducing their friends and family to it. And it's gone to... I would say it's part of somebody's business. That's what I love. When you're launching, you're thinking of the networks you're joining.
Right.
And that's how it should be.
Right. Nice. So, I believe your thought process is a little bit more like collaborative.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit more about how, you know, you've sort of been able to sort of put this out there and, you know, even make your community believe in this. It's not just competitive. It's about collaborating, about growing together.
Yeah. I say this to everyone all the time. So like I said, I consult with smaller businesses and I'm like, hey, so what if you are in the same, if you're a jeweler and you meet 2 other jewelers, that's not a bad thing. It's not competition. Yeah. Maybe you guys can actually, you're at a stage where you could, suppose someone's into lab diamonds and somebody's into semi-precious. You and your designs are very different. You can actually collaborate and do a shoot together. You can, share resources. You have a photographer who's good. Why not share it with them? Business is not going to go to them more just because they're using your photographer.
Absolutely.
So I do heavily believe in that.
Yeah.
I do think that it's something we should all just adopt. That's one. 2, where I'm concerned, I do a lot of collaborative events. So be it with other networking platforms, entrepreneurs who've started out and are getting on the same path as me. I also think that by collaboration, your end goal is the same. Your end goal is the same. Yeah, I understand that if your product is exactly the same or your pricing is exactly the same or it doesn't make sense. But you can collaborate in some way. And what I mean by collaborate is don't think of them as a threat. Think of you're helping somebody else out who will one day help you. Like I always say, it's like you don't have to be instant. We always wait for, I gave you that contact, but let's see if they buy from me or let's see if they come and support me. No, it could happen 2 years down the line.
Yeah. Like one fine day, you'll just remember that, listen, I met this person and I might want to get something from them.
Correct. And networking is not about it. The biggest rule in networking is go in with zero expectations. So you have to go in with thinking nothing will come of it, but I help someone else. And that's my favorite part. It's not about the give and take. It's about the give first.
Absolutely.
Take later.
Yeah. So I was telling you, I had another guest over on the podcast who was into lab-grown jewelry.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, this market seems to be very overcrowded. Everyone's getting into lab-grown jewelry. How does one stand out? And this is exactly what he said. He said that everyone's expertise may not lie in making the same kind of product. It's lab-grown diamonds, yes.
Yeah.
But the jewelry that you make out of it,
the designs,
is going to be, the designs are going to be different for everyone. So there's a space for everyone and you can't look at everyone as a threat.
So I'll tell you the interior design community, for example. So I have a very close friend who's an interior designer and she's built a community, Isaji's. And I love that because I think the interior designers are actually coming together in such a big way to help one another.
Yeah.
Is this client problematic? Is the client paying you late? Is this client fishing with 10 different people?
Yeah, and then taking different sort of things from everyone and then choosing.
And when she told me that, I was like, that is the true sense of collaboration over competition, because you're not shying away from saying who's approached you.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
You should be like, jewelers should come together. What if there's something where their tax is too high? This is just an example. Or their charges for something are too high. They can actually solve something when they come together.
Yeah.
So I do believe that today's day and age also, community is such a big thing.
Yeah.
So build a community which learns to collaborate, and build a community that doesn't think of you as a threat, but thinks, okay, listen, I'll actually get great advice.
Yeah.
You had put an ad in that paper, right? How did it work for you? And be okay with giving an honest answer.
Yeah.
Be okay with giving an honest answer, because one day it's karma, right? You'll get it back somehow. And don't even think about that.
Yeah.
Think that it's collaboration.
You're just helping.
You're helping someone else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This mindset, I feel, has evolved a lot over the past few years, I would say. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, initially, everyone would be very, like, not willing to share information easily.
Yeah.
Especially about their business, about their finances, about whatever.
That's been a big win for me, I'll be very honest with you,
Yeah.
where I see people openly sharing contacts and openly sharing things, saying, I work with this freelancer and it worked well for me, or I did this show and it worked well for me, or I put an ad here, or I did, performance marketing and it worked well.
Right.
I think that for me is a big win, where people are learning to be honest.
That's great.
Earlier, people were really shying away from even giving their photographers content.
Yeah,
or number.
absolutely. It's changed. I
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
that it's changed from the time we started FinCocktail to now even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now if someone asks us for our, team's contact details, that okay, who do you work with for photography, videography, editing?
Yeah.
We're happy to sort of share those
Yeah.
details, and it's the same. Like, somebody's also happy to share their details with us, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So people are, I think, like I said, like, people are adopting networking the right way now.
Yeah.
It's not only about going to events and getting for yourself.
Yeah.
It's about building that relationship and saying, hey, let's sit over a coffee. Let's see what you can do. How can I help you? How can you help me? And it's two people who don't know each other from before and could also be in the same industry.
Absolutely. So, Shaan, tell me, how important do you think it is to network early on in life? Like, maybe when you're just a college student. Do you think that it's only going to help you going forward? Or, like, is it something that you sort of slowly should develop later on?
Look, we forget that we're networking all the time. People just look at me and say, what is this networking? Or like, I don't go to networking events. I don't believe in networking. For me, it's social climbing. It's not. You don't realize when somebody, when you're asking a friend's parent to connect you for an internship, that is networking. That is literally going out of your comfort zone and asking for a connect. You're doing it with your, there are two types of network, your primary and your secondary network. Yeah. Your primary network is your friends. You are asking a friend's father to get you an internship. You're using your primary network. Yeah. What's wrong in that? We do it so often. Or you're looking to buy a lehenga. My cousin does lehengas. Hey, can you get me a discount? Yeah. You're networking. Yeah. Literally, we forget that networking is about building a relationship and about helping one another. So how you do it and when you start shouldn't matter. And we forget that we start very early on as our teenagers. Yeah. When you go to college, when the people you meet, like I always say, like the people I met in my first internship, second internship, I'm in touch with all of them. If I need advice, I will call my first boss. Yeah. I will call the person who helped me and mentored me. So that is networking. And for teenagers, for people in college, I love that I met so many women at 60, 65, 70 starting their own business. For everybody, networking is important. Yeah. So it's not about doing it when, you think you're ready or, sales have dipped, let me go to a networking event. Honestly, it won't work then. Yeah. It has to start when you are starting. So remember, also one thing is we always forget is networking and building a network is a job. It's literally it's fun. But you got to do it. Like, I literally work with some people from when I was 15, when I started my bags. I'm still in touch with them. We still do events together and we still bounce ideas off each other because we know where we came from. We started together. We know where we were. We know where we are now. We know each other better. Yeah. So I think, don't think of it as a chore. Think of it as literally having a conversation with a friend. And what I do is, one tip that's really helped me is whenever I travel, I try to have coffee with one new person in a city.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for the last, I would say, 12 or 13 years. So the best part is you learn so much. You make a friend. You hear what other people are up to. And you just know what's going on in that city. So you get a pulse of what's happening. And in a way, that's networking.
Yeah, absolutely. So through your consultancy business and also through your through networking now, you must meet a lot of entrepreneurs, small and medium business owners. What are the typical challenges that they face in their businesses?
Good question. I think one would be exactly where you guys come in, money. So I think how to spend right, how to budget, and how to save. I see a lot of people in the initial part of their business tell me, oh, but how do I invest it because I have to put it back in? We don't realize there's a reason we're making a profit. And I keep telling them this, you need to put away a little because there will be a rainy day one day when you need it. And why are you working so hard? I understand you have to put back in your business. But yeah, that knowledge is not there. That's one. The second thing is, I think the reason I started networking now is there's no real formal training of how to be an entrepreneur. So, how do I budget better? How do I decide which freelancer to work with? People just go on hearsay. They don't really kind of research and see what's good for them. See, look, somebody else's blueprint may not work. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. So I think that's the thing where these are the two things. Finances. I think people just don't know how to budget and manage their finances or save or invest. And I think this is a big problem. I see it within my community as well. And the second thing is the knowledge of how to kickstart, who to work with, where do you find the right people?
Absolutely.
Also, don't just do it because somebody else is doing it.
Yeah. These are literally the two things that have literally shaped FinCocktail because one, your first point where people don't know how to invest their money, forget investing, they don't know how to save, budget, the basics. And that's something that we realized that even our own friends that are like doing so well in life, that are business owners, maybe like professionals, lawyers, whatever, doctors, they don't know what is happening to their money. Their hard-earned money is either like just lying around in the bank account or like my brother's managing it for me, my father's managing it, my husband's doing it. I don't know what's going on. And that's what we wanted to change. So that was one thing we really like were bugged with because it's your money. You've done all the hard work. You should at least be able to know where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or whether your money is working for you or not. Like if it's just lying around in your bank
growing?
Exactly. If it's lying around in your bank account, your money is not making you any money. So that was the first sort of thought that we had when we started FinCocktail. And the second one was exactly this, that when you're just starting out and you want to build your own business, who do you look up to or who do you learn from or who do you ask? There's always so many people that you will get to read about big businessmen in books. But like, what about people that you can relate with?
Absolutely agree. And we have this thing in networking now called the round table. It's basically the idea of it is finding your work tribe. It's basically finding people outside of your friend circle because see, friends will always give you honest advice. They'll tell you that, but how much are you listening? How much are you listening back at home? You find your work tribe where these people honestly, and I have a group of these, we meet once a month, we're very close friends, where they literally tell you, Shaan, I didn't like what you put out there. I don't like that content. I don't like the collab you did with the brand. I loved this. Did you make money here? Also, Shaan, are you charging your worth? I have the best of friends who tell me this. So I think you need honest people and people who know and understand your work and have a keen interest in it. So find people who don't have to be your best friends, have to be people that you met through networking events like this, and who may have made mistakes and are willing to tell you how to overcome them. This is the big one. Because what happens, say, okay, someone's launching a fizzy drink. Okay, let's take a fizzy drink, for example. What happens, and I'm noticing very often, is people will just copy paste what's already in the market. You're copying their influencer strategy. You're copying their social media strategy. You're copying which shows they're doing. You're copying where their presence is, their distributors. But where's your uniqueness in this? What do you stand for? Maybe what's worked for them has not worked for you. How do you know if they've done boosted ads or not? So I think people are just copy pasting without research, and that's a very, very big problem. I see that because, like I said, right, because a lot of these small businesses then waste their money. So then you're putting down so much money, and they're like, where did the money go? But hello, you didn't even think. You didn't budget, you didn't save, you didn't see what profit is coming. You just did it because you thought that other person was succeeding at it.
Yeah. So, this is great. So this brings me to my next question, where I want to ask you, do you have like this like business Bible or something of that sort where, it's like a guidebook for someone who's starting out?
I don't. What I really swear by is courses. So like I said, the two things which I swear by is meeting other entrepreneurs and understanding how they are doing. Like, what's your story? What worked for you? What didn't? How did you reach here? What mistakes did you make? That kind. Just talking to any entrepreneur. I'm not talking about 100 crore, 1,000 crore, but any entrepreneur. I love it. I just love knowing other people's stories. And the second thing I think for me is doing courses. I do a lot of online courses. You will be surprised,
Like yourself,
I just sit and watch online courses. I love watching interviews on YouTube. I watch Bollywood interviews. I watch financial interviews. I watch talk shows. I just love to know how people think. And I think that is one thing every entrepreneur should take on is try to do as many online courses. Try to go to as many talks where people are talking. If you look up to somebody and there's a niche in a business that you feel works for you, like finance, for example. If you don't know it, do from the most basic course to the most complicated one. Talk to people, get somebody to teach it to you. So this is something I believe. I don't really have one business Bible, but I do have a keen interest. So even at 11 p.m., if I know I'm not sleepy, I'll go on to Udemy and I will sign up for a course and do it immediately.
Wow.
Yeah. And on any topic, because I think that it can teach you so much about an entrepreneur. It can teach you so much about a business.
Very interesting. So, when you started networking now, did you always know how you wanted to manage your business, how you wanted to manage your money for the business? Or did you were there like hiccups along the way? Were there like learning experiences? Were there things that, happened and you were like, oh man, I'm glad this happened. I could learn from it or like make whatever changes in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So no, to tell you truthfully, nobody taught me how to manage my money. Nobody taught me. There was no class where I learned how to, invest or save. I wish I had started younger. I had very close friends who told me I was making a mistake by just making money and going and shopping. I wish someone had taught me. Today there should, like, what you guys are doing is amazing because as a teenager, when you do your first internship or first job, it may be smaller money. But if you start investing at that age, even if you put 1,000 rupees away a month, what a difference.
Enough.
It's a winner. You won't have to think so much when you reach here. You'll actually have a ready fund when you want to start as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You want to invest, you won't have to take it from someone else. So I think I started much later on. I got better at managing my money later on. I think where circumstance taught me, where I was like, okay, by now I should be making much more. I should be saving much more. How much do I have? Hey, I want to buy myself. I want to invest in this jewelry. How do I do it? Do I need to keep asking my parents? I think these things taught me. Or say when I was building, for example, like I told you, my tech platform, it cost me a bunch and I didn't want to ask anyone for it. So I think that's when I realized I should have savings. I should have investments. I should be better. And today I can say, happily say I'm way better.
Yeah.
I teach myself, like I said, I do courses. I watch content like yours. I make an effort to learn, but I wish and I hope that somebody just out of college can learn this better because it is a must. Like I said, it's a rainy day. It's not only about, God forbid, somebody in hospital, but it could also be you wanting to start your own business, but you don't have the funds to put it in.
Yeah.
And you have an idea which is a winner and you have everything in place, but don't have that cash.
Yeah.
So I think people should start as early on as your first internship.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly when I started. But thankfully, I had my mom.
Yeah.
Who was very like,
Who taught you?
Yeah. She still manages, like my parents' money is managed by her.
Oh, wow.
And she taught me this at a very early age when my first paycheck of 5,000 rupees I was ready to. I was like, okay, now I'm going to take my friends for dinner and I'm going to spend it. And she was like, no, hello, this is not happening.
Yeah.
I've already started this SIP. You just have to sign here. We'll invest it. And I'm like, hello, I want my money. And she's like, no, if you want, I'll give you 1,000, 2,000 bucks, take from me.
Aren't you thankful?
And now I'm like, wow.
And look where it's brought you in your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, this should be, there should be a finance boot camp for teenagers.
Yeah.
Very early on. It should be taught in college. It should be taught better. In fact, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we should encourage our interns. We should encourage next gen to put money away. And I do it. I do it with my staff at home.
Yeah.
I do it. I'm like, you have to put away even 500 rupees, but do it. Because, I had a help at home who had an alcoholic husband. She had 3 children to look after. I saw my grandmom doing it with her. Then I saw my mom doing it. And today I tell her, I'm like, put more if you can. Her daughter today works with us.
Wow.
Her daughter works with us and she wants to earn money and she puts money away. Whether she gets it in cash or whatever, she's saving.
That's
Somehow
great.
she's saving.
Just whatever.
Yes.
You don't realize when it sort of adds up.
Yeah.
And like you'll see that amount after a few years and you'll be like, oh wow, like I didn't even realize that it's grown to this number.
Exactly. And you really never know when you'll need it.
Yeah.
There will be a time when you want to go and splurge on something. You decide to get married and you want to pay for your own wedding. unfortunately somebody falls sick and the money is needed, you could help.
Yeah.
So I think finance is a big one. Like I said, in entrepreneurs, I see this big thing of not being able to separate
Personal finance
Yes.
with business money.
Yes, correct.
That's-
So many entrepreneurs tell me they don't.
That's
Me,
the
for
biggest
example,
challenge. How do you do it yourself?
Me, for example, so, when I got my business coach for the first time, the first question they asked me was, so what kind of salary do you take? And I'm like, nothing. I don't pay myself. The shock was like, you don't take a salary?
Yeah.
And, that's when I was like, oh, I'm meant to. But like, so these are small things which we forget. Get guidance early on. Guidance early on, because taking a salary, putting money away, profit, where are you putting this profit? It's not very wise when entrepreneurs say they take the whole profit and put it back in the business.
Yeah.
But you're not doing the right thing. That's not the right thing.
Yeah.
So I think a finance bootcamp is number one, according to me. More than even anything, know your financials before getting. Forget that when you get a business partner. If the business partner has more knowledge than you in the finance space and you trust them 100%, but still learn, ask the questions.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
Important.
Absolutely. So how do you manage your personal finances? Like business money, yes, you've been telling us and you've done a bit over there, but how do you manage your own personal money?
So I'm giving lots of gyan, but this is something a friend handles for me. I started very early on, and somebody I trust. And I literally, I know okay, so one big thing for me is SIPs, okay? I really putting money away monthly has been a game changer. And I think
It's the best.
Yeah, and the kind of goals you girls would know best. I'm still clueless, I'll be very honest. I know the basics, and I know where my money is. I know where I'm investing, and I know where I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Good at tracking. But I think I got better over time and I taught myself. And the other thing is I just kept giving myself goals. And another thing that really helped me, and I'm saying this, I was telling you this about finding your work tribe. My best friends were like a group of girlfriends, and we talk about money, saving, doing better, reaching better heights, having goals. And I think that helped.
That helps a lot.
That helps a lot.
But unfortunately, not everyone's able to get that girl tribe,
No. People shy away from
People
talking
shy
about
away
money.
from talking about
but
money
I
all the time.
I did. My friends taught me this. My best friends were like, you should be making more money.
Yeah.
Put more money away. Yeah. Invest in this jewelry. This will be good in the long run.
Yeah.
Or invest here. This will be good. So I think it's about the curiosity, and you know what? If nobody around you is comfortable, make them comfortable.
Yeah.
That's what my friends did. Yeah. Just talking about it openly, talking about big money, big figures, we shy away from it. And very often I see even in my community, women and female founders just don't want to talk about it. They'll always have a husband as a co-founder. They'll always have a male counterpart. Oh, paisa ka? Haan, talk to him. Or like this invoicing, he'll do it. Or, how much money is coming. So, no.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I'm a co-founder in SoundRise, which is, I'm with 3 male co-founders and they're all my friends. But the amount I have learned from the 3 of them, I'm never in the dark. I'm always explained everything. My opinion is valued. No transactions happen without all 4 people's knowledge. So these are healthy relationships, and this, if you shy away from asking and knowing more, you'll always be in the dark.
Yeah.
You have to. So I think for me that worked. Like I said, SIPs are my thing because I understand it better, and for me I like to see that money go every month. And the second thing is really going and watching YouTube videos and content like yours and learning. I love taking a risk. So very often, like maybe once in 3 months I'll be like, okay, let me try this. Then it works for me, and then I know.
Yeah.
I'll
Then
keep
you're
going.
confident enough to do it a second time or the third time.
Yeah. So I have a friend, and he does it for me.
Okay.
And he's been doing it for me for the last 15 years. And
But that's great. It's good to have a professional do it for you if they understand the subject matter better.
Absolutely.
But it's always good to also know what's happening to your money.
Always.
Like, you know where your money is invested. You know that, okay, these are the SIPs that I have ongoing. This is the amount that's sort of going every month into each of these SIPs.
Yeah.
At least having that knowledge is important. If you
Absolutely.
don't have expertise in the field, it's good to hire professionals to sort of help you over there.
And find somebody that you're comfortable with.
Comfortable with,
Talking
absolutely.
about, I tell so many of my interns, it's not about putting 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees or 20,000 or 2 lakhs.
Yeah.
It's about where you're comfortable, and you know what? Pat yourself on the back for starting out.
Yeah.
Because honestly, one day that money will double, and that will be there. Think of it as a fund for anything that you needed at some point.
Yeah.
So I think what you guys are doing is brilliant, because putting out content, where were the days 5 years ago if I wanted to learn something about finance or networking, for example, there was no content
Nothing.
out
There
there.
was no content.
Today there's content on everything.
Yeah.
And I think finance being the most important,
Yeah.
teach yourself, find a circle, find a group of people. And maybe like I have a bunch of girls in the Networking Now community, they do this where they call a financial planner and sit over coffee and ask questions.
Yeah.
Because they've never been taught it at home.
Right.
They've never got the knowledge, or they don't know better. Or very often they ask questions, they're like, don't worry, your money is managed. Or don't worry, the money is growing. Ha ha ha. And it's like a joke.
Yeah.
No, I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think these are small initiatives we can take.
Great. That's
As
amazing
entrepreneurs,
how you're taking these initiatives to sort of just, I feel like it's just in the mindset
Yeah,
of a lot
absolutely.
of women that we
Yeah.
can't do this. And we just need to change that. That's
I mean, think about it. I'm sure, I don't know, I'm again speaking before knowing, but I'm sure when you guys started out, a lot of people must have thought FinCocktail, but they're two women.
yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, I'm sure, because that's just the
And
Reception.
essentially, we started out as a page run by women for women. But eventually we realized that everyone needs financial, sort of assistance or help or knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, our community sort of expanded. And now we have, like, more men than women. But
Yeah.
but essentially, that was the thought process. That
Yeah.
we want to empower more women with financial knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have so many men in the community
Yeah.
now. Initially, when people thought we were an all-women platform, no, we have a lot of men. And I realized the men that didn't stick around or be a part of the community for longer were the ones who were not willing to listen to a woman or work with a woman or take their services on. And I'm like, okay.
You're happy to not have them then.
Goodbye to you,
Yeah.
because honestly, they listen to you for what you're selling, right?
Yeah.
So why not them?
Yeah.
And so what if a woman knows her finances and knows how to invest better? So I do think that that openness and that open-mindedness, if I can call it, is coming now.
Yeah.
The change is happening. Like I said, y'all are bringing
That's
about the
amazing,
change.
yeah.
So many people around us are bringing about the change. But I think also, if you're an entrepreneur or one day want to be a founder, start taking that initiative early.
Yeah.
I wish somebody had told me to start at 16, 17, 18.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you mentioned SoundRise, and I feel like that's something really interesting that you're doing. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure, I do that with 3 of my very close friends. We've been friends for years. We've seen each other through different career paths. And one of the co-founders, Mohit, he lived in New York, and he would take his son to an outdoor park gig pretty often, maybe once a week. And he came back and he was like, Shaan, I really want to start this here. And I feel like we don't go outdoors enough. And for our kids to experience music and like kind of learn music at an early age, I want to start this. First, I was like, listen, you're never going to get permissions. But we roped in Varun and Rahul, and so now we're 4 of us. And it's been such a joyride. It's been such a joyride to work with public spaces, people doing good things in, in and around areas, looking to uplift areas, to see grandparents, parents, and children all coming out for the love of music.
Yeah.
So the idea is to bring independent music artists to the forefront.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it's been fun. The best thing is that India doesn't really go with the busking concept like of donation-based music,
Yeah.
but that's picking up. And I think the other thing is it's really, people at SoundRise have found a sense of community. So other music lovers, jazz music lovers, classical music lovers. And the thing is that music artists also don't get a chance to promote themselves very often.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only either through
And
referral.
especially like, somebody who's like a bit smaller or just starting
Yeah.
out or like in
Yeah.
the early days.
Yeah, and could be very talented,
Yeah.
wants to form a band, but doesn't know what platform. So I think
Absolutely.
that's the reason. And touchwood, it's been now 3.5 years, and we
Wow,
also
it's been
started
3.5
somewhere near
years.
COVID. Yeah, so more 4 years.
Wow.
And touchwood, it's been great. I love seeing little kids, people bringing their 9-month-olds,
Yeah.
and people bringing their 85-year-old parents. It's a joy. It's Sunday morning happy. Like I used to, Sundays were my day off, but it's just the happiest feeling to be at SoundRise.
Wow, that's amazing. Great. So Shaan, do you have any questions for us?
Actually, firstly, if I can ask, I had no idea that you guys manage people's money, and this is something which I'm taking home and feeling very happy to take to my community.
Yeah.
Tell me more. How's that experience been?
Good, very good actually. So we started out as content creators.
Yeah.
Both of us are from a finance background. I'm a chartered financial analyst. Sailee's also got a master's in finance. So we've just literally been in this field pretty much like all our formative years.
Yeah.
So we started out as content creators, but along the way, we realized that a lot of people need help.
Yeah.
And this comes from like a lot of DMs and stuff that we get on Instagram where they're like, okay, but like I have this problem. How do I fix it?
Yeah.
Or, I have this goal that I want to reach, but I also have these EMIs and these loans, and how do I sort of manage everything?
Yeah.
And we realized that a lot of people are earning well. Okay, they're making good money.
Yeah.
It's just that they're not able to manage it well.
Yeah.
Which is when I feel like we sort of realized the need to sort of, get a distributor's license, and now we're mutual fund distributors.
That's
So we
amazing.
help a lot of people out with their portfolios, planning their portfolios, executing them, all of that.
This is a big one, and kudos to you guys, because to be two women in the field and take that step, I'm sure there were many people, like we all know, there's people who doubt you, the people who are like, we can't do it.
Absolutely.
We don't want to give you our money, but hats off because you've reached here. I want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Is how much has networking played a role in your FinCocktail journey? Because you said you started in COVID.
Yeah.
So digital or offline networking, how's it been?
So I'll tell you what, out of the two of us, Sailee is definitely more of the networker than I am.
Yeah.
But initially it was all digital networking. Because for the longest time, we didn't end up meeting people from our content creation community.
Yeah.
Okay, and also because the community is such that people are based out of different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So a lot of our networking was digital initially, but I feel like over the past couple of years, Sailee and me both have made more of an effort to sort of reach out to more and more people from our community, meet them for a coffee, go out for a meal, attend events. And that sort of helped us build a better, stronger sort of network. Definitely. Like, I can't agree with you more that when you meet somebody in person, it's a whole different ballgame.
Whole different.
Like, talking to somebody on messages on Instagram is completely different.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
different,
And also, I feel like niche networking,
Yeah.
right? Like you guys are in the finance space. If somebody else is in the finance space, it would be lovely to learn from other people in that. So exactly what you said, collaboration, rather than only thinking you can go for networking events where you just meet any and everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something people should really think of joining niche networks.
Yeah, definitely.
Lovely. Thank
Great.
you.
This was such a good chat,
Thank
Shaan.
you
I'm
so
so glad you
much.
could be here with us. And I
Absolutely.
think it was a great conversation.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I was here today with the FinCocktail girls, and what a wonderful chat we had. Honestly, finance is not my strong suit, as everybody knows. I used to shy away from talking about money, but today was a whole lot of fun. Trust me, watch the chats they've been doing. I've learned a lot. So like, share, and subscribe.
Yay,
Yeah? Okay.
amazing.